Aloha, it's Dave Lawrence. How you doing? A big mahalo for catching this today. I am excited because I'm joined in the studio by a cat who I've gotten to know over the last 10 years at concerts and stuff, but I've never had him as a guest. It's a legendary radio personality, concert promoter, pop culture icon of the islands,
Wow.
Uncle Tom Moffatt.
Wow, thanks, Dave.
You're welcome. Aloha, brother. Good to see you.
Good to see you, man.
Nice to be here in the facility.
Thanks for inviting me.
You're welcome. Thanks for taking my invitation. And we have Tom in here because something very special is happening. It's Monday, January 14th over at the arena. We're going to be celebrating Aloha from Hawaii 40th anniversary screening, Elvis Presley's famous show. Tell us about what is going to happen that night at the arena.
Well, the concert is going to be recreated in enhanced sound and sight. And we're going to have a huge screen up there. They were talking about 3 screens, and then we talked about it. I said, would it really have an impact to have one big screen? So we're working on that now. It's going to be possibly the biggest screen ever in the Blaisdell Arena.
Nice.
So Elvis is going to come on there like, wow.
It's going to be scary.
Yeah. So it's going to be kind of chicken skin. It will be chicken skin time in the very arena where he staged this record-breaking show seen around the world by millions of people. And it's going to happen on the anniversary in the same building. Elvis is returning to the building.
It's huge. And you've never, in all the other anniversaries, you've never done a thing like this yet?
No, not like this.
So did you, on 30th anniversary, did you do anything?
No, this is the first time that a big celebration
has come together.
Now, I was invited to Memphis in August for the 35th anniversary. Was it 35th anniversary?
Well, it would have been 77, so when he passed away. So my math is probably worse than yours.
All right.
Anyway, count on his experts.
It was a big celebration. They celebrate Elvis's death in Memphis, the day he died. And every year, thousands of people come from all over the world. And I was invited there, and it was a thrill to be there.
I think I read something about that in your column, if I'm not mistaken, that you were going to be attending that. So it makes it even more special what you just said, that there hasn't ever been any acknowledgement of this on that date. So this is going to be a really, really big
This is
thing.
the 40th anniversary of the Elvis Aloha from Hawaii, and in August, it was the 35th anniversary
of his passing.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Who were some of the noteworthy folks from his life who are going to be flying in? Are they going to be at all part of the screening? I know there's a big week of celebration that people are going to be doing here.
There's going to be all sorts of things. Great sponsors here who are behind this celebration, and folks are coming from all over. There's going to be an Elvis impersonator contest.
Right, I saw that.
I'm going to be a judge in that.
Well, who better to be judging that? People better be up on their game. So folks will be coming around. I take us back to the original show because that's really one of the many ways that you've made the legacy that you have. First, when did you and Elvis initially meet? When did you first meet the guy?
When he first performed here in 1957 at the old stadium.
Had you booked that or someone else?
No, it was booked by a promoter from Australia, Lee Gordon.
Okay.
And I was asked to introduce Elvis in that first concert, and it was a thrill. It was one of the most memorable concerts I've ever experienced.
That was really. DJ Tom.
Yeah, it was DJ Tom. I was there, and but it was just it was Elvis in a boxing ring. They removed the ropes and the ring posts.
Wow.
His lighting was where the overhead lighting was with the
just
lights
white lights.
No, it was boxing lights.
Right.
That's what they used. And, he had really nothing compared to what the performers have today to enhance their performances. Right. It was just Elvis. And it was something I'll never forget. It was, wow, he just captivated that audience. And the last number, he did Hound Dog. And he was called back for an encore. And he came back and did a slow version of Hound Dog. And he jumped off the stage. You ain't nothing but... It was, wow, real slow, yeah. It was...
Chicken skin.
Yeah. So that was the first time that Elvis came to Hawaii in November of 1957.
And then in between that and 73, how many other times did you get
We came here for the Arizona Memorial Concert.
Oh, right, yeah.
Which I was very involved with Colonel Parker on that, and Ron Jacobs and I met with the Colonel, and we met with the Colonel when he enhanced or impressed or snowed the admirals of the Navy. They all came down to his office at the Hawaiian Village, and his office was filled with paraphernalia about Elvis's latest movie and so forth. And you can see these guys came in kind of doubting. It was a brass from Pearl Harbor. Well, by the time they left, they were saluting the Colonel. But that's how that whole fundraiser came around to raise money for the Arizona Memorial. And that was at Block Arena at Pearl Harbor. Then Elvis filmed Blue Hawaii at the same time. He came in, and he just gotten out of the Army. And this was the first concert, real big concert that he did. And that all came about because the Colonel came here on a vacation a year or so before. And Ron and I were talking to him. He said, look, if you guys can get, I don't know, it was 20,000 signatures or something like that. This was in 1950. Well, the station went on the air in 1959. But it was probably about 1960. And the Colonel said, if you guys can get this many signatures.
Right.
Well, Alamona Center just opened. So we got a big teletype roll. It's AP and UP used. And the news came in and printed on these rolls. So we put one of these rolls over to Alamona Center. We got more than the
needed signatures.
Yeah. So that's how Elvis. It all came about. That's why Elvis came to Hawaii to do that concert.
Wow, that is huge.
Yeah.
And so when you mentioned it briefly, but the infrastructure changes that have gone on in concerts, you've watched the real change between just playing in a boxing ring with the lights in the arena all the way up to the Stones sort of extravaganzas that you put on. Talk a little bit about what kind of unique infrastructure you can remember was inside the arena that night in '73 for this thing.
Oh, it was good. You could see it on the telecast. I watched that telecast. I watched the show every once in a while, and I'm amazed at how it came off, how well it came off, how well it was photographed.
Right.
And they had a lot of production there. They had a lot of great lights, and they have overhead flashing things with Elvis neon signs over the stage, and they did a lot of production on that. And Marty Pacetta, one of the great TV directors, directed this show, and we'll see it on the 14th.
And then shot out, and the one thing that made it really historic, too, was the satellite aspect of it, right?
Yes.
I mean, nothing like that had ever been done.
Never. And that was the Colonel's idea to do this. And, Elvis hadn't appeared in a lot of countries, and a lot of countries wanted Elvis to come and perform there. So the Colonel put it all together. And
so that was the driver for the satellite thing, you're saying?
Yeah. I think that the Colonel wanted Elvis to be seen all over the world. And
right.
That was it, the worldwide telecast.
Yeah, it went way beyond nationwide, worldwide.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
And so you saw him from boxing ring with no production to 73 with what at the time must have seemed like incredible production.
It wasn't. You couldn't do that much at Block Arena,
right.
if you've ever been there.
Right.
But that's where it was held because it was a fundraiser for the Arizona Memorial.
Right.
And that's about as close as the Arizona Memorial or the Arizona you could get at that time. To put on a big show, and even now. So it was just going from the stadium and then to Black Arena. And
to
then,
the arena.
Wow. Then to the arena with this show that was, wow, it was just something.
We're all really looking forward to that. Mm-hmm. And the connection to Hawaii, you probably more than anyone were able to see Elvis's personal connection to the state. Anything that you can recall, especially maybe from that night of him walking around or the ways that he bonded with the islands?
Well, it all began in 1957 when he appeared here the first time. And he just... I did an interview with him, and he was in Germany. I had one of the few interviews, and I was a good friend with Colonel Parker.
So it was a phoner?
Yeah, I did a phoner, and I had a clear line. Wow, it was it was like he was in the next room. And he in the interview, he said, I'll never forget leaving Hawaii and the lays and just the feeling he had. And it was obvious that he was in love with Hawaii.
Yeah, what an impression. Yeah.
And he came back many times. He came here to visit quietly sometimes, and he did 3 movies here, and of course the concerts. But I think Hawaii was his second home.
So after 73 and the concert that we're going to be reliving on Monday, January 14th, right there in the very arena, after that, did he come back between that and 77?
Yes, he did, very quietly. He would come in unannounced. No gigs. He'd come in very... Well, just he didn't have a big entourage with him, but it was Elvis.
You can remember hanging with him after that.
When he came in on his own, he stayed on his own, and he went to the Arizona Memorial at one time. I remember that it was the Colonel told me about that, and that
this is after the 73 show.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So towards the end of his life.
I believe it was after. Yeah. Actually, I'm not quite sure on the date, but he did come here. He would stay in Lanikai sometimes. He stayed out farther on the North Shore. And when he was working, he would stay either at the Hawaiian Village or the Ilikai.
Okay, so either the Hilton Hawaiian Village or the Ilikai. That's what I was going to ask, his Waikiki haunts where he would be. Yeah. And you hung with him right there in Waikiki?
Oh, yeah.
At the Ilikai. You remember hanging with him?
I remember we did a press conference there.
at the Ely Cup.
Yeah, and some of the fans came and they were thrilled.
Who would not be? Special footage that is, I heard, filmed just for this event. What's up with that?
I don't know what's going to be.
That's
surprise.
just a bonus.
Yeah,
All right. So
yeah.
you're even going to have some surprises.
Oh yeah, I'm looking
even
forward
Uncle
to it.
Tom is going to be hanging on the edge of his seat.
It's going to be a great week, and that's going to be the highlight of the whole week. Is the 14th of January.
That's it. It's the big ramp up.
In the arena.
When I was looking at the website, I guess it's elvis.com/aloha. They have a whole segment about it. And you're right. They have a rundown for all the activities. They're selling like a whole package of folks who are coming here for a week, the hardcore Elvis fans. And that is, your show is that's it. That's the climax to the whole baby. How does Kauai factor into this week? Is there anything that's going to happen to acknowledge the significance that island has played in?
Well, Kauai, I went over a few weeks ago to Kauai, and they had a special showing of Blue Hawaii there. It's the anniversary of the showing on the Garden Islands.
You MC it or something?
No, I was just there. Ron Wiley was the MC, but I got up and spoke. And I talked about the Arizona Memorial Concert. I talked about some of the things that happened around the filming of Blue Hawaii.
Right. That's the good stuff right there, bro. And how many times in all did Elvis play in that arena, Tom? The Blaisdell Arena. Was that the only show in the arena, or was there more?
No, he did a few months, I think it was November before, he came and did
72?
72 it would be. He did a couple of shows quietly there. It was mostly for Japanese visitors, and that's when the Colonel decided to have the press conference about the worldwide television show. And it quietly sold out. A lot of people don't remember those concerts. But I remember seeing Elvis at those concerts. I went backstage to see him, and he'd gained a few pounds, and he looked okay, but he didn't look like the Elvis that I knew. But when he came back for the January show, wow.
In better shape.
Oh, he just looked great. He was up. I think that was the last great challenge that Elvis had. I guess every movie would be a challenge, or going on the road, or the first time he played Las Vegas at the Hilton. But I think that was the ultimate show of his career. I think.
Wow.
The one we're going to see January 14th.
Yeah. Now, in so many ways, that's probably a good way of looking at it. And just two final questions before I let you go. What did you do, if you recall? Because one of the great things about Tom's shows is the catering backstage. This guy spares no expense. He always has Cater to the Stars, Steve Ozark. It's always like something tasty. Do you remember how you handled Elvis's catering needs?
Wasn't as intense as a lot
as
of the
today?
Yeah.
Well, so it was loose? Bands didn't expect what they did today?
No, they didn't. Not back in that time, no.
He was happy for whatever you showed?
Yeah, I think there was
plate
some
lunch
soft
here.
drinks, and that's about it, backstage.
The show is going to be Monday, January 14th, the historic Blaisdell Arena, and Ticketmaster has the tickets for this show.
Yeah, they went on sale today.
Very special thing. And as a final note before I let you go, unrelated to this, but I just had to ask, Ringo Starr just announced the Pacific Rim. He's not coming here. He's going to Australia, New Zealand, Japan. Was he offered to come to Hawaii?
It's the first I've heard of it.
This is the first you heard of it?
Yeah.
Heard no word that he had been coming?
No, he's never played here.
Right, yeah, because somebody in his band, Steve Lukather from Toto.
Yeah, I know Steve.
Yeah, of course. Who don't you know? And he told me secondhand, I heard that he said they tried to play here, so maybe they didn't reach out to you, that they wanted to play here and nobody took the booking. And I was just thinking, how could that possibly have happened?
What are the dates?
That they're doing? They start February 5th in New Zealand. They end at the beginning of March in Japan. Maybe you get them on the way back from Japan.
I'll check it out.
I'm seeding the idea. So I'll get a little credit if Ringo comes.
Yeah.
I just want to get it, because you'll be like, it was Dave Lawrence who told me about that. Did you have fun today?
I sure did, Dave. Yeah, thank you.
And don't be a stranger. You come back anytime. We'll do some more stuff here on the air.
Okay.
It's a great pleasure. Tom Moffatt
is leaving the building.